Hi, I'm Rocca. Tired of living in the present? This is the Tomorrow Show, where we only dwell on the future. The disappearance of newspapers, the rise of the Amazon Kindle, the fantasy of the paperless office. You might think that paper itself is destined for that big blue dustbin of history. So what is the next chapter in the story of paper, and will it come in anything resembling a book? Take a look. Piñatas, packing material, paper cups, air filters, dollar bills. Like a cheap mummy costume, our lives are wrapped in paper. From its origins in China 2,200 years ago.
Well, this is space paper, and it was made aboard the Columbia Space Shuttle.
To a trip into outer space, paper's trail has been a long and winding one.
Paper clothing is a lot more sturdy than people give it credit for. You can wash paper clothing.
Cindy Bowden is the director of the Robert C. Williams Paper Museum at Georgia Tech. She'll take paper over plastic any day.
When you talk about preserving and conserving artifacts, if they are data on a CD or data on a 3-inch diskette or whatever it happens to be, that data disintegrates a lot faster than paper ever will. We have paper in the museum from 700 AD. It's still here.
But for a commodity with such a storied history, paper's image is routinely beaten to a pulp. Piles of paper are scorned as signs of inefficiency. Letters on paper are sent by what's derisively known as snail mail. And where do the layabouts of the TV series The Office work? A paper company.
Listen up. Let's start from the ground up. Where does paper come from? Trees.
And now, with the explosive growth of digital readers like Amazon's Kindle, many are writing the obituary on paper.
It's alphabetical, and it's a book about words. And so
Bad news for those who prefer their books the old-fashioned way, like Roy Blunt, author of Alphabet Juice and president of the Authors Guild.
In any reading device I've seen, there's actually a blank, a short blank in between one page and another. You know, you push a button and it's just blank for a moment, and then the other page just appears. This is more like taking a stroll through a book, it seems to me.
And you like the way it feels on your fingers?
Yeah, it feels good. And you can also do this. You know, there's something kind of nice about that. You get a little breeze.
You do get a nice breeze. Good summer
Try getting
reading.
a breeze from a Kindle.
Oh, in case you were wondering, Blunt's latest release is available for download.
I'm glad it's out there because any form that people want to buy it in is fine with me. But I just don't tend to read digital books, but that's because I'm 114 years old.
You won't have to wait 114 years for the next generation of digital reader, like this one from Plastic Logic. And on the horizon, a reader so thin, it's strangely paper-like. So, is it time to turn the page on paper? Doubtful. Back in 1975, Businessweek magazine prophesied a paperless office as the office of the future, where PCs would eliminate the need for pesky paper. So what actually happened? Between 1980 and 2000, the use of paper in American offices doubled. Today's office worker burns through 10,000 sheets each year. What helped get us into this paper jam? The copier, created by Xerox.
When we say the Xerox 914 makes copies on ordinary paper, we mean ordinary paper.
It really created the information explosion when we created the plain paper copier, which really meant for the first time people could make a copy of a document after they'd produced it.
Steve Hooper is a vice president of research at Xerox.
Paper still gets printed because it's easier to make notes on, to show something, to discuss it with people.
Today, Hoover says, 40% of pages are thrown out the day they're printed, a startling figure. But buried in all that waste paper could be the seed to paper's future. Xerox is creating reusable paper. Chemically enhanced, it reacts to an ultraviolet LED pen light. and then returns to blank with the application of heat.
And I can write over and over and over again over top of that image.
Also in tomorrow's paper, the development of bioactive labels that can indicate the presence of toxins in food and water. And if you thought walls made of paper were a bad thing, you haven't met Jim Juzak. His house outside Watertown, New York is made of, paper.
It's either called paper-enhanced mortar or papercrete are the two names we can give to it.
It's paper.
And it's paper. It's about 80% paper by volume and 20% type N masonry cement to improve its fire rating and bind it.
Is your house recyclable?
Yes, completely. It will go into the ground as soon as we stop caring for it minorly, or if we knocked it down, it would go back to the elements very, very quickly.
Or you could put it in a giant bin.
Yeah.
Made from the runoff or sludge from a nearby paper factory, Juzak says his papercrete walls are virtually as strong as concrete and equally energy efficient. Could I punch a hole through it?
No. It would cushion your hands. The one nice thing about it is it's strong but flexible.
So if I punched it?
It wouldn't bruise your knuckles too badly. When you look at the components in wood or components in paper, you've got cellulose fibers, which are amongst the strongest materials known.
Strong, cheap, and recyclable. So don't file paper away just yet. Joining me in the brand new high-tech Tomorrow Show studios, renowned origamist Sock Song. He's the winner of the Louis Award, the greeting card industry's highest honor. Also joining me is Doug Fink, president of the Pennsylvania Paper and Supply Company of Scranton, PA. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here today.
Thanks
for our debut webcast. Thank you. And we have a treat today, actually. Sock is going to actually be creating an origami work, a sculpture, during the course of this interview. I don't know what it is. I don't think you know what it is either. We're going to be surprised, so this is very exciting. Okay. We should let viewers know that the TV show The Office, the actual structure you're seeing in the opening credits in Scranton, PA, is your paper company.
That's actually correct. The tower and the opening shot of the lead into the office is our structure.
Okay. Now, do you think that paper gets a bad rap? Are there a lot of paper haters out there?
Paper haters, perhaps, but I think the TV show The Office may have cast paper in a negative light. Just because they had to pick the most boring industry, the most mundane industry they could find, and paper was, I guess, at the top of their list.
But of course we need paper.
We certainly do. Try and live 24 hours without toilet paper, which is one of the products we sell.
I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying to think of the alternative.
I don't know that there's any alternative under consideration.
I hope not.
I hope not as well.
Okay. Do you think that we'll ever see the paperless office?
I don't think we'll ever be completely paperless, at least not in the next few generations. There will always be some use. Interestingly enough, Pennsylvania Paper and Supply, which is our company, is mostly paperless.
Oh, interesting. So you guys create paper, but your office is actually...
We don't really retain any paper in our accounting system at all.
Is that sort of hypocritical, though?
A little bit.
Okay, but you're honest about your hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, now, Sock, I don't want to interrupt what you're doing. And by the way, we're surrounded by this absolutely beautiful menagerie of origami art here. We have the classic crane. Is that correct over here? Yeah. Okay, don't want to distract you. And then this is a lovely elephant. And then there are these wonderful sort of smaller sculptures over here. And you are a strict adherent of the no cut, no glue policy, right?
I tried to do no cuts, no glue, yeah. That's one of the big rules of origami. So.
Okay, and you yourself grew up around paper, yes?
Yeah, well, I've always done folding, origami, the things that you normally would do, like the fortune teller, the little fortune tellers, or little sailboats. So I grew up folding origami when I was little.
Okay. And by the way, for our website, cbsnews.com/tomorrow show, I'll be saying that a lot. Will you be able to give us instructions on how to make your own fortune teller?
Sure, yeah, I can give you diagrams to post there. So
okay.
You can, yeah.
Thank you. How do you think paper can sizzle up its image?
I think if the Office television show is what may have hurt the image of paper, I think it'll take another television show maybe to sizzle it up. Perhaps CSI Scranton, where the investigators use paper to solve crimes, or instead of Desperate Housewives, Desperate Paper Salesmen, which there's no shortage of those to come by.
Okay, that sounds kind of hot.
Could be, depending on how it's done.
Are either of you concerned about the environmental impact of all the paper that's currently being used? By one estimate, the amount of waste paper created by U.S. offices each day could encircle the Earth 20 times.
I would say that would definitely be cause for concern, and certainly Xerox is onto something.
So will the future of paper at least be greener then, do you think?
I think the future of everything is going to be greener. But as Michael Scott in the office said, computers are great for playing games and sending funny emails, but real business is done on paper.
Well, you know, and I got to say also, I had a death in the family a few years ago. Sorry not to bring this down, but I got a bunch of condolence notes by email, and I hope none of the people that sent me them are watching, but it was tacky as hell.
Yeah, I've received that as well, and if Miss Manners is watching this, maybe she'll write a column on that.
Are we ready now, Sock, to debut? Wow, it is a origami space shuttle.
I think it's phenomenal. Scale it up a little bit and put some engines in it, and I'll jump on board.
Well, if you can have a paper house like
right.
Jim Juzak has, this is absolutely the Tomorrow Show. We don't have a problem. This is beautiful. Very good. I love this. Well, terrific. Well, before we go, I want to point out that the furniture on this set is all paper. This table is made of paper from Way Basics. The chairs that we're sitting on on wiggle chairs designed by Frank Geary, made of paper.
Good thing you didn't tell us that before we sat down.
Sock Song, Doug Fink, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. For more information, go to cbsnews.com/Tomorrow Show. I'm Mo Rocca, and until next time, don't stop thinking about the Tomorrow Show. Thank you guys very much. Next time on The Tomorrow Show.
No, I don't have no parachute pants, man. We ready to have some business right now.
MC Hammer and the future of...
Today, in Japan, they met Mo Rocca.
time wasting. Arigatou gozaimashita.